All the sports news you need. Live.
Good afternoon to you. Just gone 3 o'clock. Welcome to your Sunday edition of the Locker Room here on Independence Live. Looking back at weekend action, full of full of incident on the park, and maybe if that ball was out of play, I'm not sure. Get your comments coming in. We're here until about 4. So we're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, X this afternoon as well. Joined by Reagan this afternoon. You okay, Reagan? Everything all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Michael. How are you?
Yeah, I'm quite good. Yeah, thanks for holding the fort for me, and for ages. You've done a brilliant job as always. So
No
thanks for
problem, mate.
that.
I told the listeners that there was two more handsome guys on the show, you know.
Yeah.
Hope they agreed, but there was a few comments coming in, so I'm sure we'll get into it by the end of the show. But as much as me and James were handsome on Friday, there's a lot more talking points about this weekend, Michael. Eh?
Yeah, no, and I'm not talking about the rugby, Reagan, like England beat Scotland, but enough said about that, the better. So let's just crack on then, Reagan. The game this afternoon, well, it kicked off at 12 o'clock between St Johnstone and Hearts. St Johnstone won Hearts 2. And before we go on to talk about this game, what about that park this afternoon, Reagan?
Yeah, it was a disgrace, wasn't it? It was like a mudfield. But obviously, I don't know how it actually passed the pitch inspection. But see, to be honest, Michael, I thought the game was good the second half.
I mean, I think I don't know about you, right? But I was taking notes in the first half, and there wasn't a lot of notes to take in the first half. It was kind of a bit of a dire game, same as the park. But I suppose that the only thing is Kabangu got a goal for Hearts in the first half, a decent ball from Shankling, and Kabangu was there to bang Hearts in the league. I don't know if you like that kind of wee segue, Reagan. And Spittle had a shot, but I mean that was all to write home about in the first half, Reagan. But you're right. The second half was more of a proper football game. I wouldn't say it was end to end by any matter. I mean, but it was more kind of like entertaining.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed. I enjoyed it. I thought St John's actually played well. Their goal that they scored, the second goal in the match, was brilliant. But a good bit of play, good cross, and a good header. And then 2 seconds later, brilliant save by Craig Gordon to keep the score at 1-1. Because if St Johnson go in there 2-1 up, then it's a totally different game. I'm sure Alistair will be jumping about his seat. Great to hear, Michael, that Alistair is. He was at the game today and he was on the pitch. But yeah, hope he brought his boots, because I tell you, I'm sure they would have been full of muck and mud. But yeah, he was doing it for a very good cause, Michael. It was for the Scottish Supporters Association Awards. He told us that on Friday that he would be on the pitch. So I hope it went well, Alistair.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was a joke that you were trying to say, but no, I mean, he did well to get on the park, and I know he's been doing a lot of work with the supporters kind of association.
He does brilliant work, Alistair. I know he works closely with all the organisations, putting out so many surveys about VAR or disabled facilities. So yeah, he's doing great work.
Yeah, no, fair play to Alaska, and he will be back on the show very soon to talk about all things about Scottish football as well. But I mean, do you think that I mean, obviously the first half, as I said, nothing to write home about apart from Kabangu's goal. Good ball in from Shankland. But the second half, more came to life. Cabango got the second goal for Hearts, but St Johnson got an equaliser through St DB as well in the second half.
It was a great goal, like I said, a great ball in, great header. And you would have thought maybe St Johnson would go ahead further and see it through, but fair play to Hearts. I think over the past few weeks, they have done really well under Neil Critchley. I spoke to Graham on Friday and I got him on the show. It was great to have him. I mean, it's always good to have Graham on the show, but especially because Hearts are doing well. Next weekend, they go into a big Edinburgh derby. I'm not sure if that game's on the telly. Michael, would you know?
I will find out for you. Yes.
See, that's why you're here. That's why I missed you on Friday. But I think in general it was a good game. I think there was a few times where the crosses were a bit bad, but I think in the circumstances with the bad pitch and that, I feel like it was the best game possible.
Yeah, you were saying there about Neil Critchley. I mean, he's actually turned it round a wee bit because I remember talking to Graham as well. When they first came in, I think he had about 3 wins back to back, and one of them was in the league. But also before Christmas and up until the New Year, Hearts fans were beginning to turn on him. But he's actually turned the shit round a wee bit.
Yeah, he has, and he's starting to really get on there. And I really like that striker that they brought in from Union San Juan. I really like him. I think he's strong. He's powerful. He's got a bit about him. So I'm just really happy with the way Hearts are playing right now. Obviously, George Grant had a great chance as well in the first half, where it's a great save by the St Johnson goalkeeper. So I think Hearts are in a good place right now. And like I said, the Edinburgh Derby's coming up very soon. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that game brings, because we'll get on to it. But Hibs yesterday, I thought they were great. You know, to take nothing away from them, I thought they were brilliant, and that's them going 13 games unbeaten.
In answer to your question, the Edinburgh Derby, I'm happy to see Reagan. It's on Sky next Sunday, 12:30 kickoff for that one, next Sunday, and also on Saturday night, as we will go on to on Friday night. St Mirren informs St Mirren is at home against Celtic, 5:30 next Saturday for that one, Reagan. So a couple of games coming up on TV.
Yeah, I didn't really see much promotion for Sky today. They didn't promote the game was on next week. So that's interesting. They promoted the matches are on during the week, and I know I said to you that it would be great to do a show during the week. So hopefully we can do something about that, because there's a lot of big matches coming up, Michael.
Yeah. Talking about that, we will be on Wednesday night at 10 o'clock after all the games are finished as well, including the one at Celtic Park in Tuesday night for the Celtic Aberdeen game, and that's going to be a massive game as well, and a massive game for Aberdeen yesterday if they got 3 points. But we'll touch upon them as well. Do you think as well? I know every game's kind of big at the moment for St Johnson, but do you think that's them away now, or because obviously they've got what is it, Ross County during the week, and they've got Dundee next weekend? Do you think if they don't get anything out of the games, then they'll be kind of going down to the Championship, or do you think that?
I think for St Johnson, they really need to get points on the board on Wednesday. I'm sure they play St Mirren, maybe? Is it St Mirren?
Yeah, St Mirren. No, Hearts play St Mirren. Ross County goes to McDermott Park.
Yeah, so I think if St Johnson don't win that game, then because they'll be hoping that now they can chase down Dundee. And it was only 2 weeks ago, Michael, that Alistair was on here with me on Sunday talking about the fact that he was kind of hoping that St Johnstone would sort of reel in Ross County, but as we get on to it, they seem to always do really well.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I think it is going to be an uphill task for Seymour Valacari. But as I said, they've got two big games coming up, and I think that the two games is at home as well. What that will help as well. But they need to fix that park if they're going to have any kind of like advantage. But I mean, it's going to be a big week for kind of like St Johnson, and I just feel like if they stole a point or even better 3 points today at home to Hearts, that would set them up.
Yeah, I mean that was a great old Scottish weather playing its part today. But I think in terms of St Johnstone, I mean we spoke about it with Dundee last year when Dundee were calling off games left, right, and centre. It's very hard for these clubs to make sure that the playing surface is the best, Nick, because like you said, the Scottish weather always plays a part as well.
Yeah, no, and I suppose just kind of like touching upon Hearts, that's a big win for Neil Clitsey because, as I said, he came in, started doing well, during Christmas period and early New Year, it was dropping points and getting beaten games. And I think the last few games they've actually picked up. And I think if Hearts, it's going to be a tall order, but obviously we'll go on to the other side of Edinburgh in a minute. But I think if Hearts makes the top six, I think you could say that it's a decent season for Hearts under the first season of Neil Clitsey.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Michael. I predicted on Friday that it'd be 2-1 to Hearts, so I got the score bang on, and I'm going to predict that Hearts finish fourth.
Mm.
Well, like as much as I like to see Jim Goodwin doing well and Aberdeen in that, I just feel like Hearts are getting kind of in their stride right now, and
Yeah,
um, I'm going to say that Aberdeen finish third and Hearts finish fourth. I just think Hearts are in their stride right now. I think for me, they're nailed on certainties to make the semi final of the Scottish Cup as well. Yeah, I think they'll beat Dundee at home next week to go through. So I think all in all, it's a positive season because, as I said to Graham on Friday, I mean it was only like October. Hearts were 20 points behind Aberdeen,
mm.
and now they're only a few points behind. So it just shows you how quickly football can change.
Yeah. And if you look at the league table, it's a weird season again, Reagan. The likes of kind of Aberdeen, Hearts, and Hibs as well. But I mean, teams can all they need to do is win one game and they're up to fourth or fifth in the league. It's a weird old season.
Yeah, and that's what's so good about Scottish football as well. The unpredictability, and although like we always talk about, it's not promoted well enough. Well, I think people like me and you do promote it enough because we are on here saying how great the football is, and I'm not just saying that because I'm on here, but I really genuinely enjoy it. I genuinely enjoy watching it. Yesterday I was watching the Celtic game. Then I watched bits and parts of the Rangers game, and then I enjoyed the Hearts game today. So I think there's a lot about Scottish football to enjoy. Um, Obviously, I did enjoy Graham on Friday talking about that ABBA song. That the new Motherwell manager. I don't know if you've seen it. He said that winner takes it all, basically referring to that ABBA
Right.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I just think there's so many good talking points in Scottish football, and um, I think that every single day there's always something to speak about, and that's what you want.
So, how do you think, before we move on to talk about yesterday's games, how do you think Simo Valacari will lift his players up for the next few games?
I think in terms of Wednesday, I think he'll know how massive this game is because Dundee are playing as well, so they'll be hoping that they can beat Ross County and then Dundee, because I always say this on here, and it's the God honest truth. See, like, as much as like teams like Celtic can go on 12 games unbeaten or whatever, so can Hibs or whatever, but you can also go on a 14 game where you don't actually win a game, like Aberdeen have just done.
Get your comments coming in to talk about the game yesterday or the game against St Johnstone and Hearts today. Paul Donaldson is coming up in on YouTube saying, "Hi, Michael and Reagan. Hope you had a good weekend." Well, I know you certainly had a good weekend, Paul. 1-0 win against Kilmarnock, and we'll get on to talk about that game in a wee bit then. So thanks for watching, Paul. As I say, get your comments coming in as well. So that was the game this afternoon. St Johnstone 1, Hearts 2 at messy McDermott Park. I was trying to think of the M word to maybe put in, but there you go. Let's move to the game at Ibrox yesterday then. A bit of a shock in the cards here, Reagan, because...
Well, interesting you say shock, because I don't think it is a shock, to be honest with you. I genuinely don't. That's why I put the strap line St Mirren stroll past Rangers, because I just feel like I watched bits and troughs of that game yesterday, and I just thought Rangers were nowhere near it. They were nowhere near it.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean. It's not really a bit of a shock, but I know St Mirren's getting the double over Rangers now, like beating them in what is it, Boxing Day they went to as
Yeah, but
But I don't know if you remember, Reagan, last season, St Mirren actually went to Ibrox and they were 2-0 up and they got beat 4-2.
yeah, I mean, Stephen Robertson always gets this kind of bad negative attitude towards him in terms of people go like that. Oh, he's a negative manager. I don't care what type of manager he is. He always seems to get a result whenever he goes. I remember like 2016 when he got a result against Pedro in the Betfred when Louis Bolt scored that chip, and he never seems to get enough credit. Stephen Robinson. That's a guy that took Motherwell to third in the league, you know, and he's doing a great job with St Mirren. Now, as much as I don't think St Mirren I don't think they will get top six. If you want my top six, I can give you my top six. But I genuinely don't think St Mirren will get top six. But what I would say on St Mirren is they're very well organised and they know what they're doing. And that's the complete opposite to what Rangers are, Michael. Because Rangers don't look as if they've got a clue what they're doing.
Paul Donaldson makes a comment on YouTube to say that St Mirren could have won the game by 4 goals. Rangers and Rangers were poor yesterday, and obviously we're going to talk about Rangers in a minute. But I mean, Phil Cleggett, Regan, St Mirren came to Ibrox, and obviously the fans were buoyant because they heard A, Celtic get beat, but B, the American owners may be coming in. By the way, I still underline that because it's not confirmed yet if it's going to happen or not. So they come in, the fans come in all buoyant and a good mood yesterday compared to the last time they were Ibrox when Queen's Park beat Rangers in the Scottish Cup. And then St Mirren, yeah, I mean, Paul's right. I mean, I saw the highlights last night. They could have won the game by 3 or 4 yesterday. You know, it was 2-0 yesterday. But I mean, full credit to Stephen Robertson and his team. Just a wee note on Stephen Robertson, Reagan. I know what I mean about he goes under the radar. I mean, like, obviously, you might laugh when I say this to you, like, but it's a bit like David Martindale at Livingston, albeit Livingston is on a lower kind of budget in the championship. But every season, everybody tips Livingston either could go down or whatever, but they seem to pull it off, and that's the same with kind of like Stephen Robertson as well, you know.
Yeah, like I was saying, right, people can get lost, and we'll get on to Rangers in a minute. But I just want to say, I thought St Mirren were great yesterday. They were well organised, they were well structured, they knew what they were doing, they knew their jobs. They were brilliant, and like you said, they had quite a few chances as well. This wasn't a St Mirren team like you always say that part-time buses. This was a St Mirren team that picked up moments in the game. They chose their moments and done very well. The St Mirren captain said as well that it was extra special for him because he had a family bereavement during the
Yeah.
week as well. So I just think it's brilliant that all the boys got behind him and stuff like that, and it just feels like St Mirren's a real family club at the moment. And like you said, it was our first win away at Ibrox since 1991. So you were probably born then, Michael. I wasn't born, so just saying, you know.
Yeah, no, I think you're too kind to me there, Reagan. I think I was about 4 at that point, but yeah, I mean, I'm too honest with you, but yeah, I mean, that was a good win from St Johnson, but St Mirren, but also especially from Mark because he had a difficult week. That's his granddad that died during the week as well. So he actually done a interview with St Mirren TV after the game as well. That he came out and spoke about it. But yeah, I mean, it goes to show you that Reagan, that I know I make a point of saying every week, and you always laugh about 10 buses playing the ball, but that's what happens when the team comes out. It makes for a better game.
Yeah, I mean, Rangers could have played until next Sunday at 5 o'clock, Michael. We come on the show and they wouldn't have scored because I can tell you right now what Rangers are doing. They try and use the tricky wingers like Cherny, but the thing with Cherny is he's so predictable. He does the same thing every time. He tries to chop inside. He tries to do different wee tricks. But if you're going to do the same thing every single time, then people are going to know what you're going to do. Dessers, I felt Dessers, every time he came on the park yesterday, he tries his best, but I mean, he's just way off it. And like, I'm sure if you look up Dessers on YouTube, it'd be brilliant because he's scored so many good goals against Man U, and that. So you know, he might get a good club somewhere else, but I mean, I, I want to ask you about the defending of Chiala.
Yeah, that kind of like says it all to that kind of says it all because I mean, as defending for both goals, he should never get a game for Rangers. Kind of like after that rigging, you know, and and also James Kavanagh as well. You know, players are kind of like all over the shop. You know.
Yeah, no, and I don't like it when people single out Tavernier because that guy is not captain material, but that's not his fault. That's the Rangers manager. Previous to him, Michael Beale, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, and Michael Beale and Steven Gerrard. That's their problem because Steven Gerrard chose Tavernier, but I don't think for me, right? I don't think Tavernier is captain material. You know, he's not captain material, and I get it, right. He won their famous 55 title and that, and he's in the Hall of Fame because of it. But I do find that unfair for this guy, right? Because I was looking up a stat yesterday. Rangers have won three trophies out of 42. Three trophies out of 42 since Rangers have come back up in 2016. Now, I don't care that Rangers have come back up, but I think that's genuinely a disgrace. You know?
Now, I made the point a few weeks ago on the show, Reagan, that Van Bronckhorst got Rangers to the UEFA Cup final,
Yeah,
and albeit they were a penalty take away, but I don't know about you, but I think you get the sack too early.
and I said this before, and I've got flack for it, but I think Giovanni Broncos was the best manager that Rangers have had since Walter Smith. Genuinely do, because his teams were well organised. But the big thing that people talk about was that Gerrard won 55. Aye, Gerrard won 55, but they were playing training games in stadiums, you know. And people go, "Oh, the Gerrard era was great." Look, I've got Rangers supporting pals that were in the stadium when the Rangers were losing 1-0 to Hamilton Accies. You know, when Stephen Gerrard was there, but nobody seems to bring that up. You
I
know,
mean,
and people often forget. So sorry, Michael. Stephen Gerrard was there for so long, and he only won one trophy. He only won one. The Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, he he got, he got Rangers through to Europa League qualification. No, he got them through Champions League qualification against PSV, who were nailed on to beat Rangers, and then they chose to never back him. They played Leon King at the back against Liverpool, and I feel sorry for the guy that night. He should have never been brought into that occasion. Rangers should have backed Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, but instead they brought in Stephen Gerrard's assistant, who they thought was the brains behind it. And I'm sorry, I still don't like what they did with Michael Beale. That he was there watching matches when Giovanni was in a job. I just didn't understand it. In terms of this Rangers team going forward, I mean, I don't know whether this manager has to do. I mean, Rangers have had potentially the worst loss in a long time against Queen's Park. That was the final straw for a lot of Rangers supporters. And then yesterday, but for the new owner to come out and go, oh, yeah, I mean, we're totally behind this guy. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it, Michael, yes, but I was watching the game with 20 minutes to go, half an hour to go. The place was empty. Rangers fans that are voting with their feet. And it's okay saying, well, it was 20 minutes to go and it was 2-0 behind. But I'm telling you, see in the next few weeks, that'll not be 20 minutes to go. That'll be at 2 minutes past 3 because Rangers fans are just fed up. You know, and it shouldn't be the middle of February. And they should be at the title race. Rangers have got a very good budget, and I hate people going, Celtic are spend a lot of money and this and that." See the teams that are beating Rangers. I'll just raise them off: Motherwell, Ross County, St Mirren, Hibs. These teams are beating
Dundee.
Rangers, you know, and it's okay saying, "Oh we'll try and build for next year and do whatever." These are teams that Rangers should be beating. Celtic's not the problem. Fenerbahce is not the problem. The problem is the Rangers need to rise to the occasion in Scotland, you know. And I think I've heard people going about they should bring in a Barry Ferguson, Craig Muir to explain what Rangers means. I'm sorry, they've got Alex Ray in there, who's one of the biggest Rangers supporters known to a man. If they don't know what it means to play for Rangers, then they shouldn't be there. And the fact that they beat Celtic by 3-0 Rangers, right? The Rangers were outstanding that day. But then to go away to Motherwell the following week and get beat, drew 3-3, and then to go to Easter Road and drew 3-3 means you're 2-0 up. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. And I wouldn't be surprised if if we come on here at 10 o'clock on Wednesday, my Michael, and Rangers are beat by a few goals at Rugby Park, because the last time they went there, they got beat 1-0. They got beat 1-0. And like I said, with Chiala yesterday, he needs to be stronger. He needs to be physically stronger to be able to make sure that he gets to that ball. But I just don't understand. There's so many things we can go back to about this season for Rangers. You've had the Hampden debacle. You've had the new chairman and chief executive coming out and backing the manager. I mean, the Rangers fans are no daft. They're 13 points behind Celtic in the middle of February. That's not acceptable for anybody. It doesn't matter whether Rangers have got no money or whatever the situation is. They should be making sure that they're serving the club, and they're not doing that because the supporters are fed up with the manager. And it's okay them coming out on Friday and going, oh, well, it's because we're still in Europe. Now, I want to put it past Rangers going out and doing well in Europe against Fenerbahce. I wouldn't. But the bread and butter is that these Rangers players should be embarrassed that they can just turn it on when they feel like it. It's not a tap. It's Rangers Football Club you're playing it.
Paul Donaldson makes a comment to say, what's your thoughts on that red card that was cancelled? We'll go on to that in a minute, Paul, but I wanted to get your opinion about it doesn't help when Fab coming out and say, well, I get about 15 shots at goal. Yeah, but the bottom line is you still get beaten the game. But the other point I was trying to make is put the game aside yesterday, right, Reagan? So there was news coming out on Wednesday about the American owners coming in to buy Rangers, maybe, right? Now, see if they do come in tomorrow, right, and they take over Rangers, right, for sure. Talking sake, right? Rangers fans are very happy and very buoyant and all that. Yeah, but it's all right for somebody coming in to buy your club, but you still got to buy decent players. You still got to beat you still got to win the league. You still got to win the cup. So what I'm saying is it doesn't matter who's coming in to buy your club. I mean, you could maybe. I mean, I know this is a terrible comparison to make, but you look at Man City. I mean, they've been successful for years, and they've got Arab owners and all the rest of it. And look at them now; they're a shell of a team that they used to be, and that's the thing with Rangers. So if American owners comes in tomorrow to buy them, it doesn't guarantee them success.
No, and I agree with what Chris Boyd and Chris Sutton said in Sky the other week. In terms of people need to be asked questions about who's actually offered Fleet Clement and Niles Coppin a new contract. Who's actually signed that off? Because it's no acceptable. Because, like you said, Man City have went off the ball this season. But what Man City have got, Michael, is they've got top recruitment people and they've got a top manager. So this is a one-off because Man City have won the league for the last 4 years. But the thing with Rangers is they need something stable. And I just don't think that in terms of Rangers at the moment, nothing's stable because the fans know that this manager is done, but the club are not doing what they're supposed to be doing because they're 13 points behind at the middle of February. And the fact that Celtic lost yesterday, we'll get on to, and Rangers couldn't react. I mean, I just don't.
By the way, that's a few times Rangers has done that. Celtic got points last season and they could kick on.
Celtic got points this season at home to Aberdeen. and Rangers go away to Kilmarnock and lost 1-0.
Yep.
Marley Watkins scored. I just feel like, in terms of what Rangers are really offering right now, I mean, is this potentially a ploy for people to buy their season tickets? Because if you're a Rangers supporter right now, what actually makes you want to buy a season ticket for next year? Of course,
But by the way, it's funny that you say that, because somebody said that to me on Friday and Saturday as well. They say, well, do you not think the timing's a bit weird because the renewals coming out for the season books soon?
and it's the same with any club. You
Yeah.
you need to appear that you're going in the right direction to any fan, because like, we've spoken here before about cost of living crisis, but season tickets are a lot of money. And if you're a Rangers supporter, right, of course you're going to get your die in the wall for fans that have been going for 70 odd years and they're always going to go. Of course you're going to always get those fans, but you also need to try and make sure that you're saying to the younger fans or to the guys in the mid-40s, right, this is why you should come, because we're going in the right directions. It's not just about hoping that the blind loyalty from the supporters. The supporters need to see something back from the club. They need to see an improvement. They need to see better recruitment. They need to see better from the top. And like, I listened to Fleet Clement's interview yesterday, and I think this was the very first time that to me he sounded like a beaten man, because like you said, he's been talking about shots and goal and all that. But yesterday he wasn't saying that. But the one thing that really still annoys me about Fleet Clement at the moment, right, is that you that you watch him and he says things that you think, why are you saying it? You know, like even yesterday, he did he did he never ever congratulates the
Yeah.
opposition. Never in a million years.
No.
Yeah.
Right. No.
I thought Steven Gerrard was always good with that. He always said well done to the opposition, but never do you get Floyd Clement saying the opposition played well and stuff like that. You never get it.
Let's go on to talk about the game, and it's with when they do these shows on the Sunday, Reagan, I was with Death Roats is on the team on the show on the Sunday, but however we'll get back on again. Paul Donaldson says, "What's your thoughts on the red card that was cancelled? Probably the right decision. Now, yeah." And there was a few incidents yesterday, one at Ibrox and one at Easter Road, and a few other ones that we'll go on to yesterday.
I feel like I'm being the resident referee here.
Yeah.
I don't know the rules, Michael. I'm just no, I'm kidding.
Reagan, what do you think of this? Right? Because I'm actually thinking now, right? Because obviously we've done the show in VAR and all that, right? And we've done it to death on the show. We spoke about it at the weekend as well, right? But see when the ref goes over to look at the monitor, by the way, I'm still argument that decisions like that should not go to VR, because they're blatant obvious at the time, right? But the thing is as well, do you think the ref feels a bit kind of like peer pressured in a way? Because don't forget that on the VAR, you've got two match officials. So you've got two match officials looking at a big monitor, and also you've got the rest. So it's basically like two against one, basically. And if there's two of them are saying, yes, it's the red card, well, I mean, I'm sorry, but the ref will say, well, okay, I better go along with them then. What do you think of the? Well, first of all, what do you think of the incident, and then we'll get onto the red card, Regan.
I
Well,
think it's a high tackle, But I think they came to the correct call when saying it's a yellow card. For me, people can disagree or whatever, but I genuinely think it's a yellow card. Um, but yeah, I can see why Kevin Clancy at first viewing because it's going that fast. But I think they came in the correct call.
Do you think as well that going back to my second point about if say like they cancelled well, obviously it's Paul Donaldson right the point he get in the comments they've cancelled that out, right? But do you think that the ref feels pressurized when they go over to the monitor because, as I said, there's two refs watching the game in a big monitor, and I know they work as a team.
I think I think sometimes because like more than often the referees change their mind when you go over to that screen. But I do enjoy it um when people like Don Robertson in the past has stick with his choice and stuff like that because I do think it's brave of them and I do think but I do think sometimes remember the one where Motherwell played Kilmarnock.
Mm-hmm.
It was never a red card, but the referee still stuck with the original call. I think sometimes it can work two ways. I think sometimes the referees try to think, well, I'm going to stick with my original decision because that's what I made. So I think it can work two ways.
I think I don't know about you, Reagan, but I seem to remember when we talk about VR and decisions like this, and Postecoglou's comments come back to me when he was a Celtic manager, and he was saying at the time, I can't remember what decision it was, but Celtic was involved in a kind of incident, and he got asked before one of the games, and Postecoglou says we need to watch in case because we don't want VAR to ref the game because that's what the referee is there for, to ref the game. VR's only there to advise them on different issues. But at the end of the day, it's not up to VR to send somebody off or give them a yellow card. And I thought that was a clear comment that Postecoglou made that day. But the bottom line is, Reagan, and we've said this millions of times on the show, and we'll probably say it at the end of this season, VR's not working for Scottish football.
It's not working for anybody, Michael, but it's here to stay. As Des
Yeah,
always, it's here to stay because UEFA want it, and in general the clubs want it because it's the clubs that vote for it, it's the clubs that pay for it, and we know how financially restricted we are here in Scotland. So I'm sure if there was any opportunity where it wasn't available, then um, it would be good because it would save clubs a lot of money. But at the same time, I do think VAR's got his place because I think if you see the offside ones or mistaken identity or red cards that would potentially missed, I do think it helps. Like if you remember the one, is it John Lindstrom? Remember the one that me and you and Graham spoke about last year when he tackled Alistair Johnson, and
at
I think it
Celtic
was
Park.
yeah, and I think Nick Walsh sent uh, column over to the monitor and he changed his mind. I think it's good for that because in that pressure environment, I mean, he thought it was a yellow, but then everybody in the stadium could see it was a red. So I think it's great for. I think VAR does have its place.
Okay, let's move on. Before we move on, it's Mirren brilliant win 2-0 Ibrox, and also they've
Oh,
got
Caitlin,
Celtic. And also they've got Celtic coming up next week. They've got a big game in midweek as well. But yeah, going back to your point earlier on about Stephen Robertson, he goes under the limelight a little bit, Reagan, and that's not really fair because obviously people will say, well, it's because St Mirren's on, less of a budget, and people talk about them kind of like outside the top six and whatever. And by the way, they could maybe sneak into the top six, but I just feel though that people kind of like they'll be certainly talking about him now.
Yeah, they will be, but like you said, St Mirren going to Ibrox and winning for once is not actually a shock because, as I put in the strap line earlier, it was a stroll in the park. You know, and I think all the credit needs to go to St Mirren, but all that talk over the next week will be about Rangers, and St Mirren shouldn't be lost in all this.
Yeah, no, exactly. And don't forget, we'll be on Wednesday for the review of the games, including the big game on Tuesday night at Celtic Park between Celtic and Aberdeen as well. Paul Donaldson, you might be going to that game. And let us know in the chat if you do. Right, let's go on to the other side of Vegenblah. Well, one side of Vegenblah was playing today, the other side of Vegenblah was playing yesterday, and full credit to Hibs yesterday, Reagan. Hibs 2, Celtic 1.
Yeah, I mean the cabbage and ribs were brilliant. They were absolutely. They were honestly. I thought the first goal they scored was a great goal, great passage of play, but Trusty has to do better. Taylor has to do better. But I mean, fair play to Josh Campbell. He had some day.
Yeah, no, exactly. And we'll move on to Celtic in a minute. Everybody said, well, Celtic were a bit leggy after Wednesday night against Bayern Munich. You can let us know what you feel about that in the chat bag. I guess feel as though like Hibs want to get more Reagan yesterday, kind of like all over the park.
I think they did. I think they did. But obviously as well, that advantage for them, that the fact that the Celtic were playing in Munich on Tuesday as well, and that was probably a positive as well. But I said earlier, I mean, Hibs were on a 13 game unbeaten run. I was on here in maybe October time, and I said the best thing for Hibs at the moment is David Gray, the singer. But David Gray, the manager, has certainly turned that around for them.
Yeah, no, that Paul Donaldson says, no, I'm not going to the game. I'll just be watching it on TV. Tickets at Circuit Park are too expensive, and maybe we can touch upon the tickets at the cost of living crisis and all that, because it's affecting everything at the moment. So we might touch upon that as well. If it's not today, it'll be
I do
on
think,
later shows.
I do think £33 for an away support at Celtic Park is a bit expensive, especially because
Especially on the Wednesday.
I think
Yeah, no,
especially
I was just going to say, especially Wednesday, Tuesday night.
but even on Saturday because people can say right Celtic are doing very well at the moment, and they are. So you need to try and attract fans into the game, and I think £33 for for Aberdeen fans or any fans to go to Celtic Park is very expensive because see if you made that £10 for every fan to go, I'm sure people at Paul Donaldson would go if it was a tenner to go. Paul, you can get back in touch, but I just feel like tickets now are too expensive.
I mean, Hibs yesterday were brilliant. I mean, they come out the craps very quickly at home, and Brendan Rodgers has had a poor record at Easter Road over the years, and it's funny you just wonder why that is because every team in the league had the bogey teams like so Celtic used to be maybe Livingston and Inverness, and now it's Hibs away, but and we'll come on to the cup game in a few weeks' time. But Hibs are going to be right up for that game.
Yeah, I thought they were great. I mean, they really did. And I don't know why Brendan Rodgers has got a bad record. And obviously, the only game he's won at Easter Road was that last minute penalty from Adamida last season.
Yeah, to each
So
game. Yeah,
no, it was 2-1,
no, 2-1.
2-1 to Celtic. So and that was when Adam made that kind of announced himself to the Celtic fans on his debut. But I think I think Hibs were just brilliant. I was really impressed with Mariah Welsh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Triantis really impressed me as well, and obviously Cadden as well.
I
And
thought,
that's
yeah,
a,
Nicky Cagan, yeah.
I thought he was brilliant. He's been really good for weeks. Um, but I was also really impressed with is it Bilaway boy, the striker for
Bowie,
him.
yeah.
Yeah, but Bowie. I thought Bowie was really good. He was a handful. He got them up the pitch, and I don't know. He just seemed a really imposing figure for Trusty and Vickers to deal with.
Paul Donaldson says, going back to your point, Reagan, £34 for a restricted view and £8, £38 for non restricted viewing, especially in a
That's
midweek
what
game. Especially in the big midweek game, people coming down from Aberdeen. Oh, okay, I know you stay in Glasgow, Paul, but especially coming down from Glasgow, and don't forget you've got in your train fare or your bus fare or your petrol to get the games.
and I'm not being funny as well. But how are you going to attract an Aberdeen fan to go if it's on the telly as well? Surely, if you
Mm.
say, surely if you say, right, well, this is an option where we can do it for a tenner, people would go.
Well,
But it's
we know why the game on the telly, Reagan, because all the English games on TNT during the week.
yep. Say that quietly. Sky will not be happy that we're getting TNT some promotion, but I mean, in terms of that, is it interesting? Because I actually feel like they maybe should put some more games on then.
Yeah, David Gray is a bit. It's funny we're talking about Hearts early on, Reagan, right? That Hearts fans maybe wanted mail clips out before Christmas or during Christmas, and I think that's the same way the Hibs fans as well. But as you say, David Gray has turned it round, and that was his 12th win of the season. I can't remember, but and he's beat one of the big two in the Premiership as well.
He probably should have beat Rangers early on in the season when Rangers won 1-0 Ibrox. And he,
Yeah.
and he drew me Rangers 3-3 Easter Road as well. And I don't think Hibs fans would have wanted him gone, Michael, because of his status at the club. But I think there would have been murmurings about him potentially leaving. Obviously, like a few weeks ago, there was a statement put out, and people were surprised that he wasn't sacked after that match in Dundee when they got beat 3-1 after going 1-0 up. But fair play to the board because it just shows you sticking by your manager sometimes does work.
Let's speak about Celtic then. A bit of a disappointing mixed bag for Celtic. They played brilliantly well during the week. We were on Reagan on Tuesday night Sunday against Bayern Munich, and they it took Celtic to the last kick of the ball to lose the game. But yesterday, people were saying, well, um, it took a lot of Celtic during the week. I don't know about you, but I don't agree with that.
Um, I don't think it would be physical fatigue. I think it would be more mental fatigue because they would be a bit downbeat. It's a bit like if you say you're playing, I don't know, you're playing darts, and then one game you're playing brilliant, then the next game you play rubbish. But if you've got a good mindset and you're playing well, then you're going to go into the next game thinking that may be possible. And I think in terms of that, I just feel like maybe the players were a bit downbeat. They were probably a bit upset after the last kick of the match. I think that's only natural. I don't think it was physical fatigue. I agree with you there.
Yeah, no, exactly. And Celtic's got a big game on Wednesday night against Aberdeen, and Aberdeen will be boy after the beat come out yesterday at home. But they from a Celtic point of view, Reagan, do you think that anybody from the Celtic team will get pass marks in the first half? I mean, personally, I think the second half it was more of a stronger Celtic team than the first half.
Yeah, I mean, Celtic grew into the game second half. The introduction of Jota really helped them. Um, I felt like terms of the first half, I just felt they're a bit sluggish, but they're also a bit unfortunate that they got a goal right against them right at the very start and right at the very end. It's two of the worst times to concede a goal. You know, because I think if Celtic would have went in 1-0 down, I think things could have been different. But the fact that Hibs got that goal at half time, they would have been going into that dressing room just been absolutely pleasant. Because if you're a Hibs supporter, you're just thinking, right, you just try and build ourselves in the match, get to half time, kind of make sure it's 1-0, um, and that's it. But I think in terms of what Celtic actually did, I don't think you can really focus on Celtic. I think the focus needs to go to Hibs and how good they played.
Yeah, no, so that's the final score. Hibs 2, Celtic 1 at Easter Road. Great, let's move on, Reading, to the next game. Pickoglan, Paul Donaldson will be a happy boy today because Aberdeen won come out now, and that
Sorry,
was
Michael,
Aberdeen.
sorry, Michael, just because you missed the talking point of the Celtic game, the actual ball being in it or being out.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to,
yeah, no, I totally forgot about that one. Reagan, sorry, yeah. Um, And I suppose when you talk about the Hibs game, Hibs won, but this will be overshadowed, Reagan, about that decision in the dying moments of the game. What did you think of it?
I felt that they should have allowed the goal just because the closest guy to it was the linesman, and the linesman could give the goal. You know, so I just feel like it potentially should have just stayed the way it was because
Well,
because as Brendan Rodgers said earlier, right? Nobody can be really sure. I I feel actually sorry for Alan Muir or whoever it is on the bar because he's took a judgment call there. He's not been 100% sure.
well, I've got another view on this, Reagan. The camera angle that I saw and the still that I saw, the ball wasn't out, right? But it would get help the ref and the ref on the park if they showed that the still from behind the goal. But I'm not. When I was watching the game yesterday and the highlights last night, I don't think they had a camera behind the goal, as in the way end, because if it was in the way end, you would see kind of better. But for me, the whole ball wasn't out.
Well, as Brendan Rodgers said, and it's just the landscape we're in. Unfortunately, we've bought the kind of cheap version of VAR. We've not got the proper cameras to see. But then that kind of brings out as well. Can you imagine that was a Rangers goal to win them the league or a Celtic goal to win them the Scottish Cup? People would be going nuts.
By the way, I don't mean golden technology, Reagan. I just mean a goal as in like they've got most of the cameras on the main stand, right? I think
Yep.
what is it, 8 cameras overall for a live game, right? But surely they've got a camera behind the goal, Reagan.
And also as well, there needs to be the accountability as well because if they're not 100% sure, I just, see if it was me in that position, I would have gave a goal, because the fact that they've overturned it then means that they've seen different pictures from us. But I don't believe that they have. So I'm looking forward to seeing the images, like Brendan Rodgers said, because the images that I've saw, like, part of the ball is out, but part of the ball is in as well.
The ball was on the line, the skill that I saw as well. But going back to the point earlier that the red card got downgraded to a yellow card at Ibrox, it's putting refs under pressure when they go to VAR, because obviously if you've got two guys in the room saying it's a red card or the ball wasn't out, well, the ref is going to go along with him, aren't they? Because he's up against two guys where they say, "Oh no, the ball wasn't out," and that was a goal, and that was a thanking off.
And as Brendan Rodgers said, the closest guy to it awarded the goal. The closest guy to the action awarded the goal. And
Yeah,
that says it all for me. I would love to hear what Des says, but for me, you have to go with that guy's opinion, because he's the closest to the action.
yeah, no, and I think we'll be talking about this till the cows come home, basically. Next leg you show. So Aberdeen won. Come on now, big win for Aberdeen. Big win for Jimmy Carlin. Because Jimmy Carlin was under a bit of pressure. I think he's still under pressure actually, but that's Aberdeen's first win since November. But I've got to say to you, Reagan, and Paul might have a comment to say about this in the chat. But out with maybe you could say Celtic and Rangers, albeit maybe some Rangers fans will fall away at the moment. But the Aberdeen fans stick by Aberdeen because obviously the Dons couldn't win again for a while. They won a game in the Scottish Cup a few weeks ago, albeit it was against Dunfermline in the Championship. But they can't buy a win at the moment, and everywhere they went, they were having full houses or away ends at away grounds. So full credit to Aberdeen.
And I know you said there is Aberdeen's first win for November, so it's their first home win for November. They beat Dundee last week, sorry, Michael.
Yeah.
But I mean, Aberdeen are a funny one this season, because Aberdeen, if you look at the season in isolation, it's a very good season. They're third in the league. They're probably going to reach the semi-final of the cup, because I did find it quite funny yesterday, quite amusing, that Queen's Park failed to win yesterday again, as I'm sure we'll get onto, but because there was a lot of drama in the Championship. But Queen's Park, in the last 3 games, they failed to win 2 Championship matches, and they beat Rangers. That's the last 3 games, you know. And for Philly Clement to go on about we had 30 shots. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm just this is the squad that should be capable to beat Queen's Park, because as we'll get on to soon, Aberdeen's got a big tie against Queen's Park in 2 weeks' time. Paul will know, and this is a game that I see Aberdeen going through in, and then from their point of view, they'll be hoping that they can get either a St Johnson or a Livingston to reach the final, you know, and then that would open up Aberdeen to potentially be in the Scottish Cup final. Then you never know, you could be in a Aberdeen Celtic or a Aberdeen Hearts a final. You never know, and then anything's possible for Jimmy, because, like, I know people were getting on his back, but he's still a good manager.
Yeah, I mean, what was that? 13 games unbeaten until they came up against Celtic, and Celtic kind of wiped the floor with them. But it's funny, one result can put you off, even though that you're in a good run as well. But yeah, as you said, Reagan, and I've got to correct myself, that was Aberdeen's first one at home since November. Of course, they beat Dunfermline in the Scottish Cup a few weeks ago as well. But Jimmy Carlin, they needed that one, but big game on Wednesday night, Reagan. It's a big game. It's a big game away from home to Circuit Park.
Yeah, I don't expect Aberdeen to get anything because I know that they were in a good run of form um, up to that Celtic game when they played them in the first 10, 11 games. Paul, as you'll know, of course the confidence will still be there, but I just feel Celtic's quality will be too much. Um, but I think Aberdeen will still create chances and they'll still have chances in the game.
What about talking about Kilmarnock? What about Kilmarnock now? They've had a kind of up and down season, Reagan.
Yeah, they have, but they're still in there for a top six finish, and it's something that I see achievable for them. So I wouldn't say they're having a bad season overall. A few wins in this league, and they can be right up there.
But that's how weird this season is, Reagan, for the teams. You can have a bad season, but you can finish fourth in the league.
And it just shows you how tight the league is as well. And Kilmarnock, they'll still be fairly confident that they can reach the top six because Rugby Park's a hard place to go. Nobody likes to go there. The next opponent there's Rangers, and I think Kilmarnock know that the league title's now finished, so they'll be going there thinking they quite fancy Chiala because if you watch Chiala yesterday, he was all over the place, you know. And if you get big strong guys like Marley Watkins, as Paul Donaldson will know, or Frazel, the big striker, these sort of guys will sort of thrive on playing against Chiala and Balogun and Suter and stuff like that. Especially because they've got previous against them as well.
And that on that plastic park as well, Reagan.
They've already proved that this season that they can win against Rangers. They beat them 1-0 this season. We had a good goal with Marley Watkins. That was the start of the Rangers downfall away from home. So they'll be looking at the positives. And I think in terms of Rangers, they'll just be looking to get back to winning ways because I think by that time Celtic will be 16 points ahead in the table. So, yep.
But good going for Aberdeen yesterday. As I said, first win at home since November in the league. But I mean, it's been a long time coming for the Aberdeen faithful.
It has been, Michael. And Aberdeen are just looking forward to get back to winning ways. They've got a big game this week, and then the weekend, and then they've got the Scottish Cup as well. So no, I think Aberdeen things at Aberdeen are positive.
So that the last time I was on the show, Motherwell still had the caretaker manager, Stevie Friel. Now they've got Mike Warner, the new Motherwell manager. He went up to Dundee yesterday, basically, and Motherwell take a kind of decent support, and they get beat 1-0 from Dundee United, Reagan.
Yeah, I mean, just to go quick fire through these last couple of games, because I know we're well over an hour now, but I mean, this is a game I actually expected Dundee United to win. They've got the top goal scorer in Sam Dalby. They've got a lot of good players that I enjoyed to watch, and I think from Motherwell's new manager, I don't think that match will be a travesty for him because he's just looking to get back to winning ways and try to figure out his best formation, his best players. And like I said on Friday, Motherwell have got something like 31, 32 players on their books.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think I saw quotes from, I don't know if you saw quotes from Stuart Kettlewell today to say that he's refreshed and ready to come back into the flame. Do you think he'll be a shout for the Packet Thistle job?
I think he will be, but I don't think he'll throw himself back into the ring right away. I think he'll want to take a little bit of time away with his family to enjoy a holiday and maybe a wee to sort himself abroad somewhere for first.
Well, well, I mean, if that's the case, you'll be looking at next season now, because I don't think there's any point of him coming into a team with what, the 8 games to go before the end of the season.
No, there's definitely
Um,
no.
but I mean, talking about managers, Jim Goodwin has found as we always talk about on the show and the other shows as well, there's managers that find a real fit, and I think Jim Goodwin has found a fit for Dundee United, not only because they won yesterday, because that they, they could make top 6 as well.
I think they've all made top six, and he's done a great job, Jim Goodwin. Yeah, just the last point on Dundee United. I mean, they've been really good. They've been really positive. They've got the top goal scorer in the league, and I think if you asked any Dundee United fan, I don't think at this stage of the season they would have thought they would have been fourth in the table. So I think that's a really positive thing for Jim Goodwin.
Okay, let's move on to the last game yesterday, and a team in relegation trouble. I, I think they'll be safe. I think they'll be okay yesterday. A brilliant win at home, especially coming back from 1-0 down to on Ross County 3, Dundee 1 yesterday.
This was a result I predicted on Friday. I've said that Ross County would win. I just felt like Dundee are going through a wee spiral of a few defeats, and I think losing can become a habit. So I think for Dundee, they'll just be hoping to bounce back soon. But it was a great goal for Simon Murray. I don't know if you've seen it, Michael, but
Yeah.
in a highlight, a great finish. It's a great goal by Ross County as well. But I think Don Kirby's doing a fantastic job. So I think Ross County will be safe now.
Yeah, and as for Dundee, it's been I know things it's about come out, but it's been a weird season for Dundee because even though they beat Rangers, they pick up a point against Celtic, but they've not really. It's not really been a consistent run this season.
No, it's no, and I'm actually getting a bit worried. Sorry if there's any Dundee fans in the chat or listening or watching live or later on, but I just feel like this might be the time where Dundee actually have a little dip in form and potentially could be in that playoff spot.
There you go. That's the games yesterday. Just to run over the championship games yesterday. I don't know if there was any shock for you, Reagan. Ayr
Definitely.
United Ayr United 1, Livingston 2, Gunfermline 0, Queen's Park 0, Packet Thistle 1, Early 1, and Brayforth 2, Hamilton Accies 0. And on the Friday night, we had a game in the championship as well. It was between Morton and Falkirk, and a good away win from Falkirk, Reagan 2-0.
Yeah, I watched it. Scott Arfield's having a great time of it over there, and fair play to him. I think he's going to add some real valuable experience to them, and I think Falkirk will win the league. But yeah, it was a big shock that David Martindale's team went over to Ayr and beat them yesterday with a last minute winner. I did expect Ayr to win, but fair play to David Martindale. He's shown again that the players are capable. But yeah, I do think that Falkirk will definitely win the championship, and fair play to them.
Just looking to Wednesday, we'll be on at 10 o'clock. Obviously, Celtic and Aberdeen on Tuesday. Wednesday, Dundee United, Hibs, Hearts at Mirren, Murrow, Dundee. A big one at the basement battle, as you would say. St Johnson against Ross County, and then 8 o'clock kickoff for Kilmarnock against Rangers. Of course, we'll be on after all these games on Wednesday for our locker room special on Wednesday night. So join us then. Thanks for watching today. It's been a brilliant show.
I was,
Thanks to Reagan.
I wa-
And
I was just going to say, Michael, hopefully we can get a locker room derby um, on Wednesday, because obviously Graham and Robbie's team go head to head. So hopefully you can work your magic and pay those guys a fortune to be on the show on Wednesday.
Yeah,
It would be good to have them on.
yeah, you never know what happens. Okay, thanks for watching, and we're out of time. We'll see you again on Wednesday here at 10 o'clock.
The Locker Room, with all the sports news you need. Live.